By REUBYN Coutinho May 26, 2020.
Read next, what's the number? Daniel Cormier asks Jon Jones to reveal how much money he wants.
UFC ended sports fans' desire for live action earlier this month by producing 3 live events in Jacksonville, Florida. The events started with UFC 249 and ended with Fight Night, REUBYN vs. Harris. Now, the promotion is set to return on May 30 with an event tentatively scheduled for the UFC Apex in Las Vegas, Nevada. However, events here could present Tyron Woodley and the other fighters with a big challenge.
Ardent fans have constantly commented on the smaller Octagon at UFC Apex, which plays host to the Contender Series.
As per MMA Junkie's John Morgan, for all the degenerates, the analysts and the generally curious, UFC officials tell me that the Apex shows will be contested in a 25-feet cage rather than the 30-feet octagon we generally see at most UFC events.
UFC commentator John Anik echoed these comments. He said, "This is a big deal for fighters too. Important to note. A smaller cage will result in more fighter interaction. As a result, there will be a higher chance of finishes rather than decisions."
This holds for the main event. Tyron is coming off a TKO victory over Demian Maia. He will look to continue in this vein against The Chosen One, and propel himself into championship fight conversations with a 4th welterweight win on the bounce.
The Chosen One hasn't registered a co-win since July 2016. He will hope to use the smaller octagon to his advantage and change that stat.
Despite Tyron having an empty area fight under his belt, he too will have to adapt to an octagon with different dimensions. It is a challenge all fighters for the June fight cards may have to face.
Pending approval from the Nevada State Athletic Commission, UFC Fight Night, Woodley vs. Burns will be the first to emanate from the Apex. The final confirmation will come on the 27th of May.
What is your take on fighters competing in a smaller octagon than what they are accustomed to? Will it make for more exciting fights?
Dana White reveals all 11 fights on for UFC May 30th.
Continue the conversation on Telegram. Join other MMA fans on MMA Fans Group.
Source, John Anik Twitter.
Alistair Overeem Dana White Damian Maia Gilbert Burns Tyron Woodley Walt Harris.
Share tweet.